Hi, I'm David Coatney with Sleek Web Marketing, and today I wanted to address a very common issue, and that is the SEO con. Sadly, these guys are a dime a dozen, and they tend to flock toward technology-based industries. There are also a lot of snake oil salesmen out there who are utilizing SEO tactics that aren't going to do anything for you, and in some cases might actually get your site penalized. But I may make a whole different video for that. Today's video is focusing more on sales pitches that either come from an irreputable person or company, or sales pitches that might come from a reputable company, but the sales rep might be unethical in their approach. First, let's address the irreputable company. A legitimate SEO provider will never reach out to you from an email address that ends in @gmail.com. That's just a fact. This person doesn't have a domain because they probably don't have a legitimate business. They set up a free email at gmail.com so they can solicit people for money and then they're gone. Sadly, this is very common and they don't want to set up a website to bring attention to themselves. You know, if you look for houses to rent on Craigslist, you'll often see the same type of thing. They'll copy someone else's listing and repost it at a cheaper price. If you want to schedule a walkthrough, they'll tell you they're currently out of state, but go ahead and just peek in the windows. They're trying to get you to write a check and then you'll never hear from them again. These folks exist in multiple industries, not just SEO, and some are easier to spot than others, and some are pretty convincing. In the office equipment space, there's what's called toner phoners, who will call you pretending to be your equipment dealer for copiers and printers. So you'll buy overpriced supplies from them instead. For web companies, the gmail.com address is your giveaway. That's not always true for other industries. A plumber can be in business for 40 years and be using a Facebook page as their website. And while that doesn't present the most professional image to their customers, it doesn't make them any less credible as a plumber. But when someone in the web business doesn't have a website or an email address associated with their business, yet they're claiming they're going to help you with your web image, that's a huge red flag. I know who my competitors are, and many of them are friends. I work with a lot of people in the space. I've never encountered a single one that's emailing businesses from a Gmail address. Another one I frequently encounter is the copy and paste email, which if you're not familiar with, then you probably wouldn't know that it's copied and pasted. The one I see is one that says something along the lines of, I recently came across your website, and while the design looks good, I noticed several problems which are negatively affecting your rankings. Some of those problems are ... and then they'll list a bunch of technical problems. Unfortunately, these problems are literally copied and pasted from another email and usually aren't problems at all. I know this because I monitor the back end of sites in over 30 states, so I see a lot of these messages when they'll come in. I see the exact same message word for word sometimes on 3 different websites from the same person, and all they've done is swap out the company name. And on rare occasion, they'll even forget to do that. You know, it used to aggravate me because they'd message my clients through the contact form and say things like, you have 28 broken links on your site. Of course, as a developer, I'm thinking, oh, geez, I need to go check. So I'd run over to the site and check, and there were no broken links. Then I'd run the site through SEO site checkup tools and Ahrefs, which are a couple of SEO tools I utilize that will show you if there are any broken links. And they check out fine and say no broken links. So obviously this person is just copying and pasting the same message to everyone they solicit. So I've learned to ignore these now. Another one you'll frequently come across is the sales rep who works for a legitimate firm. And the firm might even be achieving rankings for their clients. But the sales rep's tactics on gaining your business may not be the greatest. Sales reps don't often say to themselves, well, these guys are doing well and don't need us, so I'll move on. As a general rule of thumb, if they can't find their way in through the front door, they'll come in through the back or slide through the window if they think they can fit. So if your goal is to rank for copiers and you're already #1 overall, they'll say, yeah, but most people are searching for color photocopiers as opposed to copiers, which isn't true, by the way. And if they can see you're ranked #1 for copiers and you're ranked #1 for color photocopiers or copy machines or any other variation they can come up with, then they'll say, yeah, but people aren't really typing terms anymore. They're typing in questions like, What is the best multifunction copier and where can I find it locally? And you're on page 2 for that phrase. Also, not true. I use a program called Word Tracker that shows me how many times any given term or phrase is searched in Google on a monthly basis. And that phrase literally has 0 searches nationwide. But it doesn't always matter to the sales rep that they're guiding you away from the strategy that's going to bring the most people to your site. It should matter. And to some of the better reps, it does. But for the sales reps I'm referring to in this video, their bottom line is their bottom line. Their objective is to find a term you're not doing well for, any term, wherever they can find it, even if nobody is searching for that term, and use that to try to get you to sign on the dotted line. In other words, if there isn't a weakness, they'll make one up and then claim that's what people are really searching for these days. My recommendation is to ask them to share their screen and show you, because I will. I've had clients that wanted to work with me on finding the best terms, so in that case, I'm happy to log into Word Tracker, share my screen, do the searches with the client there to see how much traffic each term or phrase gets. So anyway, these are some of the most common tactics you'll see. There's several other questionable tactics out there, but if I included all of them, this would probably be a 2-hour video. Look, every industry has snake oil salesmen, but they really seem to thrive in technology industries because they've learned they can talk over their client's head and confuse them with jargon. It's unfortunate, but there are ways to avoid it. This is a pretty good industry to ask for client references. That's never a bad idea. Show me the results you've achieved. Do you have any client references? Asking for referrals from friends that have used SEO companies is also a safe bet. But I would say the number one thing to look for is, do they have a website and are they emailing you from a Gmail address? That's going to be your most common giveaway. Anyway, I hope that helps. Feel free to reach out to me at david@sleekwebmarketing.com if you have any questions, or if perhaps you're unsure about a message you've received about SEO. And remember, just because they're telling you something is wrong with your site doesn't always mean there is. By the same token, it doesn't automatically mean there isn't either. As long as they're not messaging you from a Gmail address, then it could still be a reputable company. Anyway, as always, thanks for tuning in.